All right, to the commodities market now. We're observing a fascinating dynamic in the Nigerian agricultural sector there, where the price of cassava has sharply declined by 33% since January, even as overall food inflation remains, elevated at about 22.97%. And we've seen this domestic trend there contrasting with notable surge in demand for cassava in the UK, as reported by the BBC. Let's unpack this now with Toju Megson, analyst at financial derivatives company. Great to have you.
Good afternoon, Eddie. Thanks for having me.
So considering this sharp 33% decline in Nigeria's domestic cassava prices, that's since January, do you anticipate this downward trend to continue?
Yes, I expect cassava prices to actually remain, I expect them to still experience the downward pressures in the short term. As you already highlighted, since January, there's been a 33% decline in the price for cassava. And this is attributed to the surge imports of cheaper alternatives for starch by industrial processors who have opted for cornstarch rather. And this obviously has a leakage into there being an oversupply of cassava in the market. So it is normal that we're seeing a reduction in these prices. The effect that has on farmers is that they have a lower profitability rate, unfortunately. And this also this increases the risk of them losing out on involvements on cassava farming, actually.
And, let's look at implications now. We're seeing demand, rising in the UK there. What impact are you expecting from that?
Well, this rise in demand in the UK actually doesn't bring about any shocks to me. As a former diaspora myself who schooled in Ireland, there are days where I'm craving and missing the taste of Nigeria and just want to drink Gary and with some granules, or on the days where I would like to have eba. So this doesn't bring about any shock to me at all, and I expect that to grow as we see numbers increase of Nigerians, quote unquote, japping abroad. So I feel like in regards to the farmers, this brings about very much so a valuable export opportunity, as they will be able to offset the domestic low prices with obviously being able to export these products abroad.
Right. So, Toju, that means you were drinking Gary when you were in Ireland.
This is down to them. This advantage can only be upheld if the supply chain is efficient as possible.
All right, Toju, thank you so much. Toju Megson there breaking it down for us what to expect for cassava prices, and we're seeing rising demand there. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.